What skills are required to become a recruiter?
Okay, so really psychology, so understanding basically humans, and obviously you go for training for that, or you have a degree. I engage a lot with people, so that helps. So that's what you need. And I think a sense of bias. So unfortunately, especially given the South African market, is we have a huge unemployment problem. And when we get into interviewing people, it becomes less of giving me your skills, qualities, what you had spoken about earlier, to more of a sob story. And not to be harsh, but I mean, we all have a story of where we come from, but that won't get you the job. Unless it plays a part into you trying to explain what drove you. So if they ask you who's your role model, and I'm like, it was my mother, she passed away, and before she passed away, these are the things that she taught me. That versus I've been struggling, I come from, I had to catch taxis. Unfortunately, majority of the population catches taxis to go to work. So I'm just like, what was the point of that? Unless it takes me to a particular point that tells me more about who you are or how you're going to serve this particular position. I'm not really interested, in finding out more about that. So having a sense of bias as to say, yes, this is a heart-wrenching, story, but are you the person that I'm looking for that will fill this position? So getting to know, understanding humans, and unbiased really, are the two key sort of skills that you would need as a recruiter. Obviously connecting with people. Like I said, I find myself having conversations and they become lounge conversations because people are so comfortable with you. Be careful of that. But also being able to connect with people like that they are comfortable, so that you get enough information to tell whoever is looking for that position that, okay, I've spoken to Mpo and I think they possess, just based on their qualities and their skills and the conversation that I had with them. So those would be the important sort of skills you're looking at for a recruiter.
So relevance is big. Be able to identify what's relevant in their story. And don't get caught up in the
don't get caught up in the emotions, because you really can, and you just
especially when you can relate.
Right? Exactly.
Okay. What has this role taught you?
Oh my goodness. I think more than anything, it has revealed how people really want things badly. I mean, we all want a job because it pays. Anything that pays me money
get paid.
But I think with the interviews that I've carried out, it just shows how driven people are, and how people are sort of motivated to achieve what they really want throughout the odds that they've been through, right? And it could be as simple as coming from a very bad background to just conquering academics because you were struggling, to mental illness issues that you faced in order to get to a particular point, right? And you don't know these things when you look at the CV, because you just like, these are the skills I'm looking for, does this person match this? And until you have the conversation or the interview with them, then you find out more about their story and how they've connected the dots and see how far they've come to get this to this particular point. And it makes it so difficult, because you're just like, oh, that is amazing. I think it has taught me that you sort of, South African mentality is that South Africans are lazy. And with the South Africans that I've interviewed, I found that that hasn't been the case. And I found that it's difficult because you sort of don't find what is aligned with what you want to do. Or misinformation, I think, is the biggest thing. So people think, the boom of like, let's go into IT or let's all become CAs, but you don't even know what that means, because you just hear it pays well and just go into it. You're not even passionate about it, And only when you land up there, you're like, I'll settle for this, but this is what I actually want to do. And I think it's taught me that South Africans have dreams outside of their qualification, yes, I studied this particular degree and this is what I'm applying for and what I want to do, but where I see myself with entering your company and what I'm going to get from it, outside of it, this is what I want to do. So I think it's more like inspiring, just seeing people go through the most to get what they want, to sort of get the job they want, but to take them to the next step, which is what they really want to do. So I think that is what it has taught me. It has taught me that you need to make people comfortable as well. I think that was the most important thing for me. And I think it's important as a recruiter as well, because you don't want to tick and bash, old school style, like, do you fit, do you not fit? Right now, the big focus really is, are you able to fit in the culture? Are you able to work in this type of work environment? And the only way I'll find that out is if I'm able to have that conversation with you. So yes, you're book smart, like you're killing it. But if you come into this organization, how will you add value and how will we add value to you? I think that's the most important thing that I've learned, is to find people that will fit the work environment, and the only way to do that is to have that conversation and to be comfortable.
It's a two-way street. Last question. Do you have any advice for students and potential candidates out there?
Yes, so the biggest one that I really just will reiterate, or two, I'll reiterate the first one. The first one is connect the dots. That's really important. So we know your skill, we know that your transcript is popping. Just connect the dots as to why. So the example that I gave earlier, you have great leadership skills. Give an example as to how you say you have great leadership skills. The second most important thing is to be yourself. And I know it's difficult.
That's what they always tell you.
It really is, because you can't explain to someone how they should be themselves.
Right.
But what I definitely know is being yourself is being comfortable. And recruiters can see when you're not comfortable. So if we're having an interview and you're stiff and you're giving straight answers and you're just not elaborating, I can see that you're uncomfortable. And luckily, with a lot of the firms, they started to move into a more getting you more comfortable until you get to that one-on-one interview with the important person. So whether that being through a group discussion or that being through gamification, by the time you meet the important person, you sort of like, I know the organization, I've dealt with some of the people here, I can now just have a conversation with you, and that's really the important part, is to just come as you are. And I think as well, once you have engaged with the company you're applying for, is to not try mimic what you've seen. So you're gonna be like, hey, this company, they're wild, they're out there, they're outspoken, maybe I should come in and be the same. And that's the biggest misconception. Just come in as you are, know. And if anything, you came in as Zethu, you get the job as Zethu. You don't need to pretend for anyone, because you were yourself. If you came in quiet, they can't expect anything from you. Like, come on, Paul. Like, you guys saw me during the interview. What do you want from me? Exactly.
This is me.
Exactly. And I think that's the most important thing, because it even helps you settle into that particular firm, because you were just who you were. You were yourself.
And you just don't want to live a double life.
Yes, don't do it. No, really don't do it.
You don't want to live a double life.
Exactly. Especially in corporate South Africa. I think just present yourself as you are. Once you're in, you just tell them, like, you saw.
Bonus question. How important is it for people to have knowledge of what's happening in the world and in their country and in just their surroundings?
Oh, it is so important, guys. It is key. Like I know I'm trying to get to know you, but also I'm trying to see how you can actually apply your technical knowledge, right? So we all have a degree from university. We all know that you're good at accounting or good at science, but how is that helping you now in a practical environment, which is what you're applying for? So you definitely need to know what's happening in the world. And I think
you kind of know coronavirus is a thing. Like, that's not
possible. And please, and the most important thing as well is to have an opinion on it, right? So I'll ask you, current affairs, what are your thoughts? And you'll be like, I know we're struggling with ESCOM. Or not even struggling, I know about ESCOM, I know about the coronavirus, and I'm like, great, I think all of us do. So what are your thoughts about it, right? So use your knowledge of whatever industry you're going into. So if it's about the trade war between China and America and how it's affecting the exchange rate, be able to tell that high level, this is what's happening, and my opinion on it. I think that's is key. Like, please.
And if you can connect the dots, right?
Yes,
so
definitely.
If you can, it's like, if you already know that the industry you're going into, like, exchange rates matter that much, like that should be something that you don't have to push and make like now.
Don't now calculate.
But it's like, just show that you've connected beyond just this is the story that I see in the news. It's like, the coronavirus. They're shutting down in China.
Exactly.
You know, Apple and the likes are struggling.
Exactly.
What does that mean? You know, and what does that say to you? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I think that is the important thing that you just said. What does it mean? Like, ask yourself that. So if you're looking at current affairs and you know that's important going into your interview, you're like, okay, coronavirus, what does that mean? You know, for whichever particular thing that I'm interviewing for. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Ntombizethu.
Yay!
Awesome.